The player-owned house in RuneScape has been revolutionized, and it now feels like you're playing a RuneScape version of The Sims with the level of customization that we have with the new player-owned house 2.0. Gone are the days of the old and for the most part useless player-owned house, and we now have a fully customizable experience. You can build your own 3-story mansion if you want, with hundreds of decorations to choose from, and one of the more underrated part of this update is that you no longer need to build and remove the same furniture for XP. You simply build the decorations you want and then store them in the furniture box, where you will later place them as you decorate your POH. The customization is nearly endless, but before we go into more detail, let's discuss the more functional items added in this update. Most notably, the potion cauldron can be built in your house, which allows you to store up to 250 doses of certain potions, and you'll have the ability to drink multiple doses at once, giving you a longer potion effect up to 1 hour. Some of the notable potions that might be used are types of overloads, aggression potions, or spirit attraction potions, all giving the player an hour-long effect. And you can build as many cauldrons as you want, fill them up with many different potions, up to the max decoration limit for your level, of course. Many new teleport options have also been added to the POH, including fairy rings, spirit trees, a portal nexus that allows players to unlock and use teleports from every spellbook in the game, and a jewelry box that acts as a placeable passage of the abyss with teleports from all jewelry in the game. You can also add cape stands for certain achievement-related capes, and it's more than just decorative, as you can interact and use certain cape effects like the teleports on the Slayer cape and the Dungeoneering cape. A few PVM-related items were also added, like the Altar of War to recharge prayer and summoning points, and you can add combat dummies to your POH as well. Unfortunately, there is no adrenaline crystal or boss portal that can be added, meaning the PVM hub will continue to be the hotspot for players in between boss fights. The artifact storage was another utility item that was announced to be added with this update, and it was added to the archaeologist's workbench rather than the POH, which I think makes much more sense. You're going to be at an archaeologist's workbench when restoring these artifacts anyway. The storage can only store damaged artifacts, and it does cost chronotes to upgrade, but getting something like 50 bank slots back from this update alone felt amazing, so that is a much appreciated quality of life feature. Aside from the new cauldron and teleport options, there isn't really much else in terms of utility for players, but this update, it was more geared towards customization and expressing players' creativity and achievements. Many of the decorations and trophies that can be built are locked behind boss drops, achievements, and more. So those collection log type players, they now have much more to collect and show off in their POH as well. Personally, I'll probably be taking on the Fight Kiln a few more times to create some new Zuck capes to hang on my wall, and maybe go for a few boss heads and the Carapax FSOA trophy. There's so many cool items you can get to decorate your player-owned house. Another really cool feature with this update is you can create homesteads with up to 5 friends, where your POHs are connected and you can visit each other's homes and show off your creativity and achievements. This is a really cool feature, and it really adds a sense of community to the game. And honestly, I think this update, it was pretty amazing. I can't imagine the amount of work the JMods had put in to make this happen, so a huge shout out to them. I could really see a lot of players find a lot of enjoyment out of customizing their houses. Personally, I spent a few hours on stream customizing my player-owned house, and after probably a few hours of planning and destroying and wasting GP, because you don't get GP back when you destroy a building, unfortunately, I finally decided on a pretty good layout, and huge shout out to Rux, who created this POH floor planner literally on day 1, so I stopped wasting too much money. So that was actually kind of huge. I will link that in the description down below because I used it to plan out my floor 1 and floor 2, which saved me from wasting another 30 million coins, so thank you for that. And I think the house turned out pretty good. As soon as you teleport in, you have the utility type items. You got the cauldrons filled with some different potions like overloads, spirit attractions, aggression potions. Then I have the Teleport Nexus and the Altar of War. I can also dive right through these items to go to the Spirit Tree or the Fairy Rings, and then I also have the Slayer Cape and Dungeoneering Cape for those teleport options as well. Behind me in the main room, we have the Jewelry Box and the Armor Repair Stand, along with my Workbench and Clock Workbench, everything that's really useful. And the rest of my house, well, it's bare at the moment, but the decorating will come. There is a lot you can do in this update, and I can definitely see myself going for all these decorations, locked behind boss drops, and decorating my house over the coming weeks. Personally, I really enjoyed the update, honestly a little more than I thought I would. I'm not someone who really is into customizing things and is more of an efficiency-focused player, but I had a ton of fun on stream just building my house and designing the perfect build, although I'm kind of thinking I might want to change things around a little bit, but aside from that, it was a ton of fun. I do think some of the players that are more focused on efficiency and the utility side of things might see this update as a bit disappointing. While we did get some new utility items, it doesn't completely change the game, and a lot of the utility that is being added already exists in the game. The only thing that is completely unique is the potion cauldron, so I could definitely see people going in for their hour-long potion boost, and then maybe use some of the teleport features, but for the most part, that's the part that is already added into the game. War's Retreat is still a much more useful teleport in between boss kills. It has a bank, it has the adrenaline crystal, and then it also has the boss teleports, so there isn't really much that can compete with it in that space. For teleport utility, we already have things like the Passage of the Abyss, which is essentially a portable jewelry box. It is a bit difficult to obtain, so maybe for some Iron Man accounts or mid to end game accounts that don't have this, the jewelry box is a good option. And then also the portable fairy rings, portable spirit trees through Invention. Those are just one-click teleports in your inventory. They are degradable, so that does mean that the player-owned house version, it might be a little bit better just because of that, and I could see myself even just using it instead of a degradable version. So it does have some utility, but it isn't stuff that wasn't in the game before, and maybe that's okay. And I think part of the idea around this update is really to just add that reward space as something to show off for new players and add that customization. And I think Jagex really knocked it out of the park in that sense. Of course, there's some bugs, and it would have been nice to have a little bit more customization options, but based on what we had before and now, it's a huge change, and it's a big positive one as well. Personally, I think it would be really cool if we did see a few new utility options being added to the player-owned house. Some ideas might be like the Gilded Altar giving 400% XP, which is slightly better than the Wilderness Altar and Powder of Burials. Or maybe you nerf the Powder of Burials since it's extremely OP, but that is always a hot topic. Another idea would be moving the Sunken Pyramid to the player-owned house. That's a pretty cool idea. Or adding a new limited herb patch that can be placed. These small changes would just help give a little bit more utility to the POH, which I think would be really nice. As great as this update is regarding its creativity and community building aspects, I would just like to see a little bit more utility added to the POH later on. It might be a bit of a hot take, but another solution that some players have talked about and could possibly work is reworking some of the existing features in RuneScape and adding it to the POH. Lodestones, I think, are a great example. It could be changed so you must go to a lodestone to teleport to another, instead of just being able to teleport to any lodestone no matter where you are. Then you could give the player the ability to build one of these lodestones in the POH, and there it has some new utility that way. RS3 has a lot of quality life features, like lodestones, that are great, but they're also given to the player for free rather than through meaningful progression, so that might be an avenue to consider for Jagex. Despite the limited utility features, I would still give this update a 9 out of 10 for Jagex. Personally, I would have liked to see a little bit more utility, as I mentioned, but the fact that we can now design our own unique house and decorate it as we please is a big W, and I can see the appeal this could have for a lot of players, including new players that we hope to get once the road to restoration is complete. I'll be spending quite a few hours over the coming days and weeks probably building my house and getting some of the decoration drops, and it'll be really fun to see what the rest of the community builds as well.